Hello there. What is going on, everyone? We are doing a Saturday afternoon live stream, maybe a Saturday evening live stream. We're going to talk about all of the mistakes AMG's had, the recent release that they've kind of put out, and I want to basically start off by saying I think it's really good that AMG is acknowledging this and vowing to do better. However, it's not necessarily going to be like a basket full of praise for them, because while this is a good thing, it's a good thing born out of lots and lots of mistakes. And we're going to talk about some of those and kind of outline some, because there's been so many mistakes lately that I'm not sure if they're going to be able to kind of regain the confidence of the people or not. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about with you guys, because I feel like there's a chance that they can redeem themselves, that they can get the quality control issues under wraps. And also want to point out that it's not only AMG that has mistakes like this. FFG had mistakes also, and while they weren't as frequent, they were also kind of in the same ballpark. So it's not like this is pile on AMG time, but we are going to definitely highlight some of the mistakes and talk about some of these issues that we've been running into, and what I think an announcement like this means, and why I think it's a good thing, but will it be good enough? I'm not 100% sure. Also, we're gonna do some giveaways. I got some giveaways we're going to do. We're going to do a nice little promo Lambda Shuttle Armada. This is part of the FFG OP. Double-sided, and it's got Colonel Jendon on the back. We're going to do some giveaways. So I'll do a giveaway in the chat. And give me a hashtag Lambda if you want to have a chance to enter to win this in the chat. We'll also do another one. I've got a couple of them here. We might do one on Discord, and also one for patrons as well. We'll do this kind of later on in the stream. But yeah, so what's going on, everybody in chat? You guys are showing up pretty early. I had talked about possibly live streaming this weekend, but I usually don't kind of lock down time slots. So I want to thank you guys for dedicating some of your Saturday evening to hanging out in this live stream. I'm going to try to answer questions as they show up in the live chat. Also, if you guys are watching this later on, there's still going to be opportunities for you to win. We're still doing that giveaway for the lightsaber. That's in the form of a $200 Amazon gift card. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos to have a chance to enter to win that. We've got a couple of hashtag Lambda entries already in the chat, so that's pretty cool. So thank you for that. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna wait on announcing a winner for a little bit. So I want to give more people who jump in a chance to enter to win that. And so yeah, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? Rerum Trading. We got Tim Thurston, Viper 7, Aldster 94, Thomas S, Chris Pittman, Nathaniel Lazo, Stack Mantel. I apologize if I'm getting any of your names wrong. Shadowcat, AGU, Dark Shadow, Gray Warden, Timothy Nguyen, Jacob Sabo, Chris Ball, Dane Patterson. What's going on, everybody? And if I missed anybody, I apologize, but I just wanted to do a quick shout out to everybody who are hanging out with us today. So basically, let's go ahead and start at the top. AMG had some battle forces that some have come out, some have still been delayed, this is the announcement that they put up last week. It says, "We are aware of the production issues with our recent Star Wars Legion Battle Force release. Linked below, we have provided print-and-play solutions for non-essential components. In addition, we've planned a production run to address missing components. We will update you with dates for these fixes as available. Thank you for your patience." It's nice to see them actually acknowledge this, because there have been a couple of other mistakes that were kind of, I don't know, maybe kind of swept. Maybe they feel like they were swept under the rug a little bit, and so that's kind of one of those things that people don't really. Some people don't notice. Some people don't like as much, and I think in this case, with the battle forces, this was a big deal for them. I think the battle forces were a really big deal for AMG because these battle forces are great value kits. You know, they're certainly priced kind of below the mark on, you know, what they could have costed if you bought everything separately. So really good value, really good entry point into the game for a lot of people. So if you're trying to, you know, put out new starters that are going to be the entry point for all, maybe, you know, I don't know, 10,000 new players or something like that. You know, this is going to be their first product of Star Wars Legion, and you've got like glaring mistakes in it. It's not gonna, like, they may not ever pick up another AMG product ever again. So this is a lot of people's very first foray into Star Wars Legion. And I think that's the case with some folks. I think at least right now there's some people who are already kind of put their feet into the water that were waiting for a better, like, deeper dive-in point. Or maybe people with smaller collections that were looking for, hey, you know, this is a great way to, like, really expand my Imperial collection. I only had a core set and one thing before. Now all of a sudden I can have, like, a really robust army with, you know, with a purchase of a battle force. I think there's a lot of people who are, you know, maybe not veterans of the game, that this is one of their first larger purchases for these games. And this is, you know, in the errors that have come in here were stuff that I wasn't even that much aware of. You know, while I do unboxings and reviews of pretty much all of the Star Wars gaming products, these Battle Force boxes were something that I decided I wasn't going to buy. Since AMG doesn't really send me review product, I don't get, you know, free stuff, and definitely not from them. It was a trip to Celebration to kind of shut me up, and that was about it. But I don't really get anything from AMG, so I you know, I wasn't going to review these battle forces, because frankly it was like going to be like $600 to review them, and I don't have that kind of money just like laying around. On top of that, I didn't need any of the stuff that's in there. I've got all of this product already, and some of it, you know, it wouldn't have been really beneficial to me. However, AMG, if you do get these production issues fixed and would like me to review the new and improved Battle Force boxes, I am, you know, more than happy to do this if you want to send them to me. But I don't need to go out and buy those for my own purposes, so I'm not going to review them. And so because of that, I missed a lot of these things. So I wasn't even aware of the issues. I had heard a couple of people saying, oh, they forgot a token or something like that. And I was like, oh, that doesn't sound like it's that big of a deal. Like some of the tokens, you know, like some of the people have so many extra tokens, it probably wasn't like, oh, I can just give you some tokens, that's fine. You know, and frankly, I don't really care that much about the cardboard tokens, because I tend to use luxury playstyle tokens. Which is a fantastic segue into thanking our sponsor for this particular video today. Luxury Playstyle Full Metal Legion tokens. They are absolutely gorgeous, and they are shiny. They're double-sided. They're fantastic. They're so gorgeous, and they make for great holiday gifts. Wink, wink. Holiday gifts just around the corner, right? Head over to luxuryplaystyle.com. Check out their compatible tokens with Legion, X-Wing, Magic the Gathering, lots of other games. Use code Crabbok VIP. You're going to save 15%. Also, orders of $35 or more that use that code while supplies last are going to get a free Crabbok token. It's got lightsaber nunchucks on it. It's great for marking your commanders or higher damage counts for games. It's got 5 on the back. Really cool. You get that thrown in for free. So check out luxuryplaystyle.com. Don't forget that code Crabbok VIP. All right. So, yeah, the tokens thing wasn't really that big of a deal for me, but I've come to find out that there's lots of other issues, like misprinted cards, cards that had been errated, that were printed like with the wrong stuff, wrong dice symbols, all kinds of cool stuff like that. Really, really weird errors and mistakes. And so one of the things that they've done is, in the interim, they've done a print and play of some of the stuff on their website. So like in the 501st, and this is one of the things that is most confusing about this whole situation, because AMG has made a lot of mistakes. It's not just these two. And I get that they're trying to downplay it a little bit. They don't want to be like, hey guys, we've made like 28 mistakes in the past 3 months. You know, we're apologizing for all 28 of them, or however many it is. It's probably not quite 28. But there have been quite a number. There's certainly more than just problems with the Battle Force releases. Now, they have said that this applies to the 501st and the Separatist Invasion Battle Force. Those are not the only mistakes. And what you're seeing here is not the only errors, but it's some of them. So they're giving you the ATRT laser cannon, which veteran Legion players probably have quite a few of these. quite a few of these. Unless you're like a separatist-only player, you probably have quite a bit. ATRT laser cannons. They were in the core set. They were in the ATRT expansion for the Rebels. They were in the ATRT expansion for the Republic. You know, most of us who've been playing for the game, even if you're playing Empire, you know, you bought the core set, you probably have some ATRT laser cannons, you know, in your stuff. And I get that they print them with like the old points. These are definitely not a 35 point card anymore. And you know, this was explained a long time ago that like printed point costs on the cards wouldn't change because it's a complicated, because basically they didn't want to start printing them with different point costs to confuse players, and I understand that. And so that's why you'll see stuff like that. Now in the points, that's what the PDF is for. The points costs were meant to be just for like, the points cost adjustments were meant to be for tournament play, for balance and stuff like that. But if you are just a casual, like, kitchen table player, is what we'll call it, because there's a non-insignificant number of people who will buy, you know, a 2-player starter set or you know, a box of Legion miniatures, assemble them, and then play them like with a family member on, you know, on their kitchen table, and just play them for fun for like a game night once in a while. That is definitely a thing that happens. Those are the folks who probably don't go onto the website to check points updates and things like that. Those are the people who just want to have a box and just play, hey, it's board game night, we're going to play Monopoly. No, let's play this one. It's got Star Wars stuff, right? And so those points were deemed appropriate for folks like that. It doesn't have to be super competitive. That's just kind of how the balance was when they were designed, and that's what they're sticking with. And I get that. But errata, which is card text that's actually been changed, has been reprinted in the past. So, for example, if the ATRT laser cannon were somehow deemed too weak and needed to be given Pierce 3 or something like that, future reprints would include that. And we've seen reprints include errata text before, like smoke grenades and things like that. You know, that happens. So it's all the more confusing when, like, the ATRT came out, and this one, it had different colored dice, or it was wrong dice or the wrong range or something like this. But this bar up here was wrong, and since I didn't get it, I don't have it off the top of my head. Let me know in the chat if you actually got one of these and noticed the misprints. But what else was confusing was the DC-15 ARC Trooper. Not only I don't think he also had, I guess, the wrong colored dice, but he's the print and play that they're giving you, like the fix, like the correct version of the DC-15 is actually incorrect. This is pulled off of AMG's website like 15 minutes ago. You know, it still says critical 1, and he doesn't have critical 1. As a matter of fact, if you go to the errata guide, it specifically says he shouldn't have critical 1. So I don't know why they're saying this is what should be there, unless it's so confusing. It's very mixed signals, and trying to sort it out, like, as to why they're saying these are the corrections, but giving us stuff that is wrong. I don't understand that. Like, I don't get it. But yes, but yes. So I will be going back and forth. I will be getting questions from the chat. By the way, if you are just joining us, we are talking about all of these mistakes, AMG's kind of apology and their plan to try to correct things, which I think is a good thing, and I'm going to talk about that. But I'm just going over some of the specific issues that have been addressed in the print and play right now. But we are going to be doing a giveaway in the chat. To somebody who leaves me a hashtag Lambda. We've got some promos here, and this is a double-sided Lambda class shuttle promo for Star Wars Armada, and it's got Colonel Jendon on the back, so it's double-sided. It's got the generic Lambda and then the unique Lambda, and if you want to have a chance to win one of these, I'll ship it out to you anywhere in the world. You don't have to be in the United States. I do have international stamps, so you know, this will go out to somebody. You just do hashtag Lambda in the chat. And we have a couple extra copies as well. So I'll be doing one of these on Patreon and also one in Discord. So if you're not already a member of Discord, it's free. Patreon, it's less than free, or no, more than free, the other way around. So, but Patreon, if you wanted to support the channel and get a little bit of extra posts and giveaways and early access to battle reports and stuff like that, you can do that in Patreon. But paying patrons get extra stuff. By the way, little thing about Patreon, I don't talk about it that much, usually outside of the end of my videos where I thank my patrons, and of course names are in the credits of A-Wing levels and higher. But we are going to be doing 12 days of Life Day in December, and so patrons get access to the extra kind of rollover of anything that doesn't get claimed for my 12 Days of Life Day giveaways. So we've got some good stuff coming. I'm going to be doing probably a 12 Days of Life Day preview video here in a couple of days, or maybe a couple of days or weeks at some point this month, probably giving you guys a little preview of what you can expect. And so if you want to have extra chances to win, Patreon is a way to both support the channel, get a little bit of extra posts and stuff from me, be able to interact with me a little bit better, Discord roles, but also extra giveaways and stuff like that. So that's just a little self-promotion admin stuff. Okay, so back to all of this. Again, not 100% sure why they went with the DC-15. We've got lots of lambdas in the chat. What's going on, everybody? We're up to 71 viewers. Wow, if we break 100 viewers, we'll do another giveaway. So make sure you share this, and I'll take suggestions from the chat on what game we should try to get. I got some other promos around here. Maybe we'll do X-Wing or Legion or something like that. But yeah, so we've got that. Additionally, the tokens, some of the tokens were in there, so they're like the vehicle damaged tokens. You know, I wasn't really as worried about about those. But from what I've heard is there's other stuff that because they say like the non-mission critical tokens were also included on this, but I guess they had the wrong flight stands for the ARC troopers. And there were not enough flight stands for the ARC troopers that came in this box, and they were missing the order tokens as well. And I guess they can't do print and play order tokens because imagine you've got cardboard order tokens and then you've also got paper order tokens. Trying to shuffle those into a bag, it's not going to work. So obviously there's some issues there. Again, and if you go back to the sponsor, if you have Luxury Playstyle's beautiful metal order tokens, then you don't have to worry about that at all. But that's that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I probably wouldn't have noticed stuff like that. What is a Lambda, Glenn Bailey? It's a shuttle that the Empire uses to transport small crews and VIPs around the galaxy, or between a Star Destroyer and a space station, or to land on a planet. The Lambda is this right here. We're giving away a Star Wars Armada Lambda class shuttle promo, double-sided with Colonel Jendon on the backside. This was from one of the old FFG OP kits, and I'm sitting on some spare promos that I'll do in giveaways from time to time. So yes. So that's just hashtag Lambda in chat if you want a chance to enter that. I'll probably be announcing the winner for that once we get through most of the other stuff. So I want to keep going with the stream, what else we're talking about. The Separatists also have stuff. I know somebody in one of my videos, when I was talking about is it okay to print and play, I said fine, it's generally fine outside of tournaments. Some people have talked about, hey, my Separatist Invasion, my AAT didn't come with Lock Dirt or the T-Series, so I'll print and play those all I want. And I was like, oh, well, wait, it didn't come with that? That's strange. And apparently it didn't. Also, I guess didn't come with shield tokens. It didn't come with, of course, the vehicle damage tokens. And apparently there was some issue with the IG-100 Magna Guards. I don't even know why this one's in here. Again, I didn't unbox these, so I'm curious now what the if anybody has seen gotten their hands on a Separatist Invasion box. I'm really curious what the misprint was on the Magna Guards that caused them to have to do this. I wonder if it was a dice color, or did they have some kind of incorrect surge symbol or something like that. So yeah, pretty interesting. But some of this other stuff that I've seen, for this, that both of these battle forces were getting stuff, but also like Blizzard Force, I guess, was missing the resilience tokens, and Echo Base was also missing order tokens from like support or something like that. So they didn't have enough tokens in those boxes too. Of course, if you're printing all this out, then you probably get that. And the order tokens, you can't print and play those. So what's going on, everybody else in chat? I appreciate you guys being here today. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about AMG's kind of apology. So but it wasn't just these two battle forces. Now, like they did They have updated their website recently, which is good. They have links to some of this stuff, but it's weird because they have like the 501st link and then the Separatist link, but they don't have the like, all the other stuff. Like there's an errata, but that doesn't have images of the new cards, which is really strange. Maybe because there's been so many mistakes that and there's been a lot. So, let's talk about this. Because I really hope they do fix the stuff. Look, their announcement, for example, we've planned a production run to address missing components. We'll update you with dates for fixes as these become available. Now, AMG has a new social media person, kind of handling their posts and being like kind of like the voice. And this individual is doing a fantastic job, I feel. Now, I feel like they came on board into a situation where AMG had a lot of errors and things weren't pretty. And this individual's, I think, like if you look in like their social media posts when they've announced this, there's a lot of people who have been nasty, and they've been met with a very calm, measured response from the AMG social media team. And I think that I'm kind of impressed. And so I think that they're doing a good job of kind of damage mitigation right now. Obviously, the damage has been done. There's a lot of damage that's out there. But I think that it's a big if, but if they can make their fixes and kind of right the ship, so to speak, it may go a long way towards kind of regaining trust from a lot of the folks. And let me know in the chat kind of how you guys feel about it. Do you feel like the damage is done and it's too late? Or, like if they fix this, and let's just say Ewoks come out, no misprints, no problems at all, like, and then, whatever else comes out, after that, maybe Ghost Crew, or maybe Ahsoka and Asajj Ventress come out, no problems, Dark Troopers and Gideon come out, no problems, like, will it be time then to look back and say, all right, guys, I think you did it. I think you fixed the issues, and or will we just forget about it? And not do that, because like granted, you're buying a product, you expect the product to be correct. So I don't know if that's really something that we need to give them praise over, but considering where we've come from, I think it might be worth at least to acknowledge, hey, you fixed it, But then again, some people may not be sticking around because of that. You screw up too many things in a row, and then maybe. Viper 7 says, admitting mistakes and hopefully correcting them, from my view, is a good idea. Yeah, now, certain mistakes you probably don't want to admit. You don't want to draw attention to too many, especially like when you're like, hey, guys, we're sorry we didn't give you enough stuff, or whatever. We're sorry we didn't give you that third IG droid in the IG pack, and people would be like, what? Or something like that. Like, there's certain mistakes you don't want to admit, because then maybe people would be like, we didn't even know that was a mistake. Or certain things you don't want to draw extra attention to. But at a certain point, you have to admit, because I think that's the first step towards kind of building the trust. Because if you try to sweep everything under the rug, people are eventually just going to be done with you. So I agree with that. I think that's good. This might be Asmodee having a word with AMG, telling them to do better. This is from Mikhail Olson. He says, I know that a lot of people have been complaining directly to them and not to AMG. That is definitely possible. And what are they complaining about, right? These battle forces obviously is one of the things, but like the previous graphic, there's been a lot of mistakes. And from a certain point of view, I feel like almost every single thing AMG has released has had errors in it. And some, of varying degrees, some less significant, some more significant. Gar Saxon in the Shadow Collective, had a missing card. A whole card didn't show up. Kind of a big deal. They had to do a print and play for that. And, of course, if you were online and you followed the 5th Trooper, they were giving out free Gar Saxon cards for a while to kind of help, with that, which was really, really cool. So big shout out to the 5th Trooper for doing that. That's some stand-up work, and and a great opportunity to promote the 5th Trooper, by the way. And Jay hooked me up with a Gar Saxon card as well, and some Battle Forces cards. So pretty cool stuff. But I mean, honestly, that's a huge mistake on AMG's part. The swoop bike's also kind of part of that wave. Developed and marketed, and on the box with the wrong base. Now, that to me seems like a huge mistake, but at the same time, is it that big of a deal? And that's something I feel like it's gonna. Some people are gonna feel one way. Some people are gonna feel a different way. Like marketing might have a bigger problem with that than your typical person. Some people probably wouldn't even have noticed, right? Some people will have probably bought this product, saw the picture on the box, bought the product, put it together, played with it, and not even notice that the bases were different sizes. There's some people that would be the case. However, the Swoop Bikes, that wasn't the only mistake. In the Swoop Bikes box, also the unit card itself doesn't have Surge to Block printed on it. It has Crit to Block, which is not even a thing. So that's, granted, it's that particular misprint seems a little bit like, I guess I can, figure out what they want it to mean. But that's kind of a, two massive kind of screw ups in one box was a pretty big wake up call. Like, what is going on over there? And this is not restricted to just to Legion stuff. The X-Wing Battle of Yavin scenario pack, first AMG developed X-Wing commercial product, has a couple of misprints in there, and they've had day one errata for a couple of things in there. Somebody was printed with the wrong initiative, so they got wrong numerical values on stuff. And then there was some like smaller things that was just like the clarification of of errata on a wording for another pilot card. But like these are things that in reality should get fixed before it goes to print. And I understand that can happen. By the way, let me take this time to do a little reality check here. AMG is not the only people to have misprints. So again, I'm not trying to harp too hard on AMG, but at the same time, still holding them accountable, which they're owning up to, right? So we're just talking about this today. I'm not trying to kiss their ass either, but we're just talking about this because this has been a lot lately. And so I'm hoping that this is the type of stuff that we don't see in 2023. Even Star Wars Armada, my favorite game, hasn't seen a retail release, but did get a digital expansion. Rapid Reinforcements had misprints. I mean, it's a digital product. You didn't even have to send it off to the printer. Like how do you misprint that? So there's definitely there's definitely problems. Some people have told me that it's that quality control is like one of the first departments to get cut when you're in like a recession or when budgets are tough. And then since Asmodee was just sold, and they were trimming all the fat on the company or whatever to try to make them appealing for sale to the Embracer Group, which is actually a fantastic home for Asmodee right now. So, big fan of Embracer Group and all their gaming focus. Great parent company for Asmodee right now. But yeah, if they did trim out all the QA or the quality control stuff, then that's, I guess, how it could explain some of these errors and misprints. And we are, Dusty says, we're humans, we make mistakes. As long as they make it good, that's true, and I hope they do make it good. In a lot of retail releases, though, some folks are going to buy this stuff and they're not going to even know. Like a lot of people will buy these games and not go check online and not, and a lot of fools don't even hit the subscribe button. So if you guys are watching, make sure you smash that subscribe. Whoa, we're over 129 viewers. I just realized we passed the threshold. We're going to do another giveaway. Wow. Okay. That's awesome. So let me know in chat what game I should grab a promo for, whether it be X-Wing or Legion or Armada. What do you guys want to see? But yeah. If it's the Queen Chiest, I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but I'm not going to approve that comment because even though I smirked a little bit, I do try to keep it a little, try to keep the profanity out of there. Though I know your heart is in the right place. I see Armada, I see Legion, I see X-Wing, I see more Legion. I see a lot more Legion. Okay, I think Legion's going to win it. Let me go see. I'm going to look through. We're going to do another giveaway in chat. Let me see what I can find. Oh, I think I've got a good one. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, we've got the Maul. Okay, so this is the French Maul. This is the promo I got from Star Wars Celebration. That's in that latest OP kit. So we're gonna give away a Maul promo. So this is a good one, guys. This is a really good one. I got this one from Star Wars Celebration. I believe it's French. Yeah. So if you're a French speaker, or if not, I mean, this is an official AMG promo. So very cool stuff. Great art print. A really great character too, by the way. So we're going to do this in chat. Give me a hashtag mall if you want to have a chance to win this one. We also are doing, for Armada players, we're doing the Lambda class shuttle. That's for hashtag Lambda. I've got a couple more of those. I'll be giving those away in Patreon and also on our Discord. So make sure you do that. Well, we got a lot of malls. I think we have a little more Legion interest in the chat. You guys are Legion players, aren't you? We got a lot of Legion players tonight. We got a lot of Legion players. That is awesome. I've been playing some more Legion lately. I've got a really cool... Okay. I'm going to tell you in a minute, but I want to get back to this. Because we were talking about all these misprints. And, dude. Like, another one... small thing. I didn't even notice it when I was doing my unboxing. Din Djarin. Right? Din Djarin and Grogu are on a sprue that says Marvel. They're on a sprue that says Marvel. Okay, now, I didn't even realize this because I usually don't read the fine print. It was pointed out to me by a viewer in my unboxing video, and I was like, wow. I noticed it after the fact. Now, that's not something that a lot of people are even going to notice or even care about. But if I had noticed it, what would have happened if I would have come out with like a video that says, The Mandalorian and Marvel MCU crossover confirmed, details leaked by Atomic Mass Games, right? Like some kind of headline like that. And I'm like, and this is the proof is in the pudding right here, guys. Early product, spoilers and blah, blah, blah. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy will have the Mandalorian in the Christmas special, blah, blah, or whatever. I mean, obviously, that would be a little bit dishonest if I took it that far. But as somebody who does sometimes do speculation videos, somebody like me might have thought that was a hint that there was an AMG, Marvel and Lucasfilm link where they were going to be crossing over universes or something like that. Now, I say that kind of jokingly because the fact that they've had so many misprints, the first place my brain went is, oh, that's just a misprint. Right? So, and I guess that's the problem. You should look at something like that and be like, whoa, what does this mean? Because they shouldn't be having misprints. So I thought that was hilarious, though. Again, like I said, some of these misprints are a bigger deal and some of these are a smaller deal. Ironically enough, this is probably the only one that could actually get them in trouble with Lucasfilm. Because, like, if any of these misprints were going to make them, like, lose their license or anything like that, it probably wouldn't be the really big ones like Gar Saxon not having a shield, even though that impacts the players probably the most. It's probably stuff like the, Marvel logo being printed on a Star Wars product. Even though there is already some crossover because Marvel makes the Star Wars comic books, right? And that certainly does happen, but in this case, this was, This should clearly say LFL AMG as opposed to Marvel AMG, like all the other Lucasfilm products tend to have. But there's just been so many of those. I mean, there's even stuff that I didn't include here, like the Mandalorian Super Commando expansion for, they came out with Shadow Collective, like Rook Cast was on the box art for that. And then, like, when it was listed. So, like, people may have pre-ordered thinking they were getting Rook Cast, and then they're like, oh no, Rook Cast doesn't actually come in that. And then it's like she's not in the box, and then like they updated the graphic, and then and that was kind of a small one because that's just the web graphic, but there's just been so many little issues. The only product that I can recall, or the only like release that like I think had no issues was the IG series expansion. Although, at least as far as like hardcore misprints, because like in that one, I still feel like, all right, if IG-11 has a card that says he has to take Grogu, but he doesn't come with Grogu, right? Like, so, like that's, or, the nanny, well, I guess he doesn't have to take Grogu, but like IG-11 should have come with Grogu. You have 2 Grogu models, right? I think IG-11 should have come with one. Now, that's not really a mistake or whatever. That's just, and granted, maybe it is. Maybe he was supposed to come with a Grogu, and the other Grogu got missed. And that's where they came up with the limited edition Grogu thing. Because, like, that, and that's a whole nother thing, too, is the limited edition Grogu that, like, nobody knew about and that some people get for pre-ordering. I pre-ordered directly from Asmodee. I don't get it there, so it's just really weird with all of that stuff. So, it's kind of bizarre. It's just the whole all of AMG's releases lately feel like they're just bizarre. And the funny thing is, I don't see these kind of misprints or mistakes in Marvel Crisis Protocol. Now, granted, I haven't bought stuff recently from Marvel Crisis Protocol, but I bought a lot of stuff. I mean, if you go back and look at my Marvel Crisis Protocol unboxings and reviews and stuff like that, I bought a lot of Marvel. I have a lot of Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. I bought everything up until earlier this year, and when I finally decided, okay, I need to kind of slow down. But yeah. Tyler says, has anyone mentioned the difference between the debacle and how FFG was on it versus the lack of communication from AMG until recently? Yeah, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about AFG had errors too. The do back was one of the most popular ones. The Corellian Corvette is another one. There were a couple that FFG caught. Sometimes just in time, sometimes not in time, sometimes in between. So the debacle was kind of an in-between one. So what I'm talking about is the do-back expansion for Star Wars Legion had the wrong base in it initially. But before they all shipped all the pre-orders, they did a limited release at Gen Con. I kind of broke this story accidentally. Again, I talk about bases, sometimes you won't notice. I actually play tested the do-back, so I should have noticed this. And I can tell you that I play tested it because my name is on the credits in the do-back. I play tested a lot of Legion stuff, as a matter of fact. But the do-back is shipped with the wrong base. The early people who got them at Gen Con, which one of them was me, I think I was the only one to do an unboxing video of it. People watching the video say, wow, that base doesn't look quite right. You know, and I was like, yeah, it's a really big base, because they shipped it with like an ATST size base, a massive base, and it's supposed to have a slightly smaller base. I kind of liked the bigger base on it because, of course, with a larger base, when you move, you go that much farther because you pick up the whole base and then move it past the tool. You go end to end. So bigger base equals more movement, even with a slower movement speed. So FFG was able to catch this thanks to my video and a couple of other folks, and I wasn't the only one who got a do-back. I think was probably the loudest voice out of everybody who happened to get one at the do-back, but lots of other folks, and probably some other internal like play testers and bloggers and stuff like that, because a lot of media type folks will go to conventions, and so a lot of people in the community were saying, hey, this has got the wrong base. And so I didn't, and admittedly, I didn't even really recognize it. When I'm doing the unboxing video, I was just happy to have a new product. And, sometimes I don't really get too analytical with it right away. So, yeah, they stopped shipment of the do-back, opened up every single do-back box, repackaged them with the right bases. And they had to do, from what I understand, they had to do all this by hand. So a lot of man hours went into that. And they basically got everybody their correct do-back. And for the handful of folks like me that had the wrong do-back, they sent us out replacement bases. So that was the one that's in between. Now, catching something too late is like the CR90 for X-Wing 2.0 when they came out with the new ships, the new huge ships. They shipped the CR90 with the wrong printed cardboard base, and they just told everybody who got it what the correct base should be. You can either mark it with a Sharpie, or for now, you can still use it, but, fill out a thing and we'll ship you one when it's ready. It took almost a year for that cardboard replacement stuff to come in, but I got it shipped to me. I think Matt Holland shipped it to me himself when he was still at Fantasy Flight Games. So really cool stuff. But then there's other things that they caught in time and we didn't even know about. I believe it was when the Clone Wars first came out for X-Wing, the Republic's kind of starter, or that squadron pack. If you opened it up, for those of you who play X-Wing, you might remember this. You opened it up, you've got like a separate bag in there that says that has the V19's dials in there. It says, don't use the V19 that's in the big bag. So throw those away and use this one instead. It's in the box. So they caught those mistakes before they shipped them out. And so FFG had like a little bit more quality control, but they still had mistakes. There was just less of them. Those are the only 3 that I can think of off the top of my head. And that's over many, many years. And this is all stuff just from this year. Something to think about. Sorry for drinking in the middle of this, but talking a lot. Talking a lot can make me a little thirsty. So All right. So why do I bring up all of that? It's to go back to the main announcement and what we're talking about. And it's that AMG is probably, has had some damage done as far as the trust issues in the community and the products. I don't know how much damage that really does as far as purchasing power that people have. Like, if you ask me if I'm a gamer, if I'm a fan of these games, at what point am I going to say, you know what, these misprints are too much. I'm done with this game. I'm not gonna do it. I don't know. I feel like it takes a lot more to, because it's not like there's other people making another Star Wars game. It's not like I can go play the CMON Star Wars game instead, right? It's not like Cthulhu where there's a million companies making that stuff. There's very few Star Wars games out there, and they're kind of all under Asmodee. Now, granted, I could play games like Star Wars Rebellion, or I guess you could play Star Wars Armada that AMG is actually not making product for. So that's so there's all of that. Everyone makes mistakes, though. Look at CMON, right? Yes, they certainly all do. And I think the problem is the frequency has been kind of high with mistakes coming from AMG lately. Now, this is so with all that being said, that's why I think this is a good thing. Obviously, this is still a result of mistakes, which in itself isn't good, but owning up to it. And part of this also is I talk about their social media team that's doing a fantastic job right now. I know there was some, there was a recent new hire, at least one, and fantastic job, because the interactions and the answers to questions that are being asked in here are good, meaningful answers. Things along the lines of, well, we don't address things until we have a solution in place because there's so many moving parts, and and just kind of like real talk, like there's reasons, whether it's licensing or whether it's we don't know if this fix is actually going to work yet. They don't want to promise, we know the problem and we have a fix planned, but then turns out that fix doesn't falls through. Well, you already promised people you had a fix planned, so so like there's reasons that they have to kind of be silent for a while, and I get that. It makes sense. And so that's why I'm saying good job on the PR team, good job on the social media team, and the people who are kind of addressing these customers' concerns head on. And so that's a good thing. That's a feather in their cap, and their cap is suspiciously light on the feathers right now. They've had so many mistakes. We've been plucking feathers out of their cap. I don't even know where this analogy is going right now. But my point is, I've harped on AMG before. I've been critical because, hey, sometimes they have made mistakes and sometimes they deserve it. Sometimes maybe I've been a little harder than I should be. I don't know. Maybe I have. But lately I've been trying to be a lot more fair and balanced with, and really just focus on reporting the news for gaming rather than giving personal hot takes. But this one's definitely got some hot takes in it because they've screwed up quite a bit, and they've screwed up too much. And I really do hope that the new team, the folks that they've got on board, are able to make this, to get real solutions implemented. I'm hoping that they can get better quality control in the future. Maybe some of these errors were just because of things beyond their control, and there's a whole lot we don't know about what goes on behind the scenes. But I definitely do hope for all of our sakes, I hope that next year's releases go off largely without a hitch. And then beyond that, like I'm especially if they're gonna get the contract renewed, and if they're still going to have the license for like the next 3 years beyond 2023, then they're gonna need to do good by the by LFL, and that means not printing stuff with Marvel on it. That's not for Marvel. That means giving us cards that don't have day one errata. Like that would be great. And also I want to ask you guys something, because I want to jump forward to this bit here again. On atomicmassgames.com, they've published some of the cards for print and play, which I imagine a lot of people probably don't need, but some may. But if you're using an online list builder or whatever, they've got all the images there anyway. But do you guys think they should have how do you think they should deal with errata? Like, I wouldn't necessarily mind if they started changing the point costs on cards just to reflect the current point cost. I would love to see errata card packs, maybe with a symbol that says the year at the top, like 2022, 2023, something like that. Again, maybe that would require a whole bunch of Lucasfilm reapproval. I'm not sure, but I really would love to see errata packs of these cards, kind of be included with like new upgrade card packs. So, because, like, for example, the DC-15, right? They say, oh, this is how it should look. You know, we had an error on there. But they're printing the old Critical 1. It doesn't have Critical 1 anymore. So this is going to confuse people thinking, no, my sniper has Critical 1. And then you're playing me, and I'm like, no, he doesn't. Look at the errata. And they're like, I am looking at the errata. Well, there's two conflicting erratas on the, you know, and of course the errata document does take precedence. So that in reality, the DC-15 X does not have Critical 1, even though their most recent document, shows it with Critical 1. That was the original printed version that had Critical 1, but they fixed the dice colors on there. It's just bizarre, right? It's just bizarre. So really, because of all of this confusion, it would be nice if they would just have a master list of, like, here's all the cards. You know, like Armada did this with the Armada upgrade card collection. It was fantastic. It was one of the best things to ever happen to Star Wars Armada. I absolutely love it. I think Legion needs the same thing. I think they need, you know, and maybe Legion's going to need like a 1.5 rule set at some point. I hesitate to do that because I don't feel like AMG has the time or the enough personnel to really sit down and dedicate themselves to creating like this master new rule set to kind of, you know, I feel like it would be too much of a task for them right now. But at some point, like if they do like a 1.5 for Legion, like, can we get a all new card pack, like with the errata correct? Because I'll be honest with you, I hate using my cards for Legion. Like, I almost never do it anymore, and I don't ever want to do it again. I kind of want to just throw all the cards in the trash, and because there's so much errata now that the cards are almost always wrong. Unless you're playing like a brand new, like unless you're playing like Shadow Collective or something that like just recently came out. If I'm playing like Rebels or Empire, at least half of my list is going to have errata. And so the cards don't tell you much, you know, and so I just print them out. Let's see. We got some folks in chat. I've kind of been neglecting chat a little bit, so let me get to some of the questions. Solo play, yes. I have an AI system on Crabbok.com. I've got a lot of custom content on there. I also have an option if you want to do an epic scenario, like an enraged epic Palpatine versus an entire 800 point list. I've got an 800 point Palpatine on there. It's, you know, which is kind of fun. I was thinking about doing like some more of those. You know, AMG talked about wanting to do a Vader down scenario where it's just Darth Vader versus a whole army of rebels. And so I didn't want to kind of steal their thunder, but I wanted to do something like that. So I did a Palpatine version. And so that's available for free on Crabbok.com. We've got the Legion AI system. We have an Armada AI system. We've got some other stuff. There's a Deep Space Nine scenario if you have a big space station or something like that you want to use for Armada. Oh, we've got another command. Got a whole other thing. So you know, there's a bunch of stuff on Crabbok.com you can check out. Big Sexy says, I'm going to stop buying Legion, or am I going to stop buying Legion? Probably not. But I will start treating them like video games. No pre-orders. That's certainly an option. They try to make it hard when they give you, you know, Grogu as a pre-order bonus. You didn't even know you were pre-ordering for a Grogu bonus. They just give it to you just to kind of punish everybody who didn't pre-order, right? And especially when they make it limited edition, you know, I don't like that sort of thing. And I'm particularly salty about it because there's no Grogus in my area. My local FLGS store just kind of went through some personnel changes, and as a result, like no Grogus showed up. You know, it was only for people. You had to pre-order like from Asmodee, like on the exact day, and you had to, from what I understand, you had to order a certain number. You know, and so I'm like, it seems like it's a kind of messed up way to do things. I don't know. Not a big fan of that. But then again, you know, most people who don't get the limited edition stuff, like people who wanted the Vader from the Celebration Vader that didn't get it, were pretty salty, you know, and I wasn't one of them because I was super, super lucky enough to be able to be at Celebration Chicago and got a Celebration Vader. You know, and stuff like that. Like, it's just, there's a lot of, you have a lot of feels bad scenarios, and I think what would make a lot more sense is just to have it up for a limited amount of time. Like, hey, pre-order your, let's say they wanted to do Spider Mall, which would be a really awesome miniature too. Spider Mall, right? Like, just as an alternate sculpt for Darth Maul. And let's say they wanted to do a Spider Mall and said, you know, this is going to be a limited edition. If you pre-order during the month of December, you lock it in. After December, closed up, done, right? That would be, at least everybody would have the same shot of getting it. Maybe some people would order 2, say for a friend who maybe doesn't start playing for another year or something like that. And then, of course, there's people going to order them and put them on eBay or whatever. But like a limited print run of stuff like that would be super fun if you could lock it in and get your pre-orders in. This way, you're still having like an exclusive or a limited time thing, but everybody at least has a shot at it. But this whole thing of like, oh, we're going to make some, and, you know, some people get them, and, you know, doesn't matter if you pre-ordered even from directly from us or not. That was frustrating, you know. Joseph says his said only the top 200 stores got Grogu. Wow, that's that sounds like there was some behind the scenes politics in play. Like, hey, we need to keep our high paying you know, buddies happy. You know, I feel like that was kind of some of the issue there. Sean says errata would be good, but we needs different art so we can tell the difference at a glance. That's fair. I would say that if they follow the Armada playbook and that made the upgrade cards full size cards, kind of like how Armada did it, that instantly did it, because now it's a different size card. And they changed a little bit of the art, like the pictures were maybe a little bit larger, right? The format of the card was slightly changed, but it was close enough that you could still say that it was. You will be hired for their marketing. Really great ideas. Yeah, right. No, they won't touch me with a 10-foot pole. I talk too much, you know. No, I do wish them well, though. I do hope AMG does a good job on their stuff. I mean, they're the gatekeepers, or they're the key holders of you know, some of my most favorite and sacred games, and so, you know, they've got to do good. They've got to keep, you know, how could I want anything less than the best for them? You know, they're doing good here. Like, this is a good announcement. It's not a great announcement, but it's like, hey, let's plug the holes. We got a sinking ship, right? Let's plug these holes and begin to start, you know, getting some buckets out. The ship's not going to be perfect overnight, but at least we can stop taking on water. At least we can begin to right the ship, you know. And I think that's what this is, you know. And of course, they're going to have to prove it, though, right? And that's the thing is, so if we get Moff Gideon and the Dark Troopers, and they're full of typos and misprints, then you're going to be like, all right, guys, come on. Thought you were working on fixing it. If we get Boba Fett, and he's got, you know, he doesn't ship with stuff that he's supposed to have or whatever, that's going to be a problem. You know, so I'm hoping that they double down on the quality control if they can. Realistically, that probably means they're going to have to hire more people. And, you know, that's a good thing. That might mean that prices go up. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's how closely those two are related. I don't know. But it's a good thing that they're owning up to it, because that's universally, I think everybody admits that that's a good thing. I want to do some announcement giveaways right now. So we were talking about the giveaways from before, and I am going to our winner for the Lambda. By the way, we're gonna. This was, if you left I just dropped it. It's okay. It's still here. Our first winner is going to be Tim Smith. Congratulations, Tim Smith. You just won yourself a Lambda. If you did not win, don't worry. Once this stream is over, I'll be putting 2 other versions of the Lambda up. One is going to go on Patreon. If you're a patron, you'll have an extra shot to win that. Also, one is going to go in Discord. So if you guys aren't already in our Discord server, check the links in the description below, and you can, you know, keep the party going over in Discord. And Discord has games too. We can play like games together and stuff like that. Which is really, there's like a worm IO one where you're blocking off areas and trying to kill each other's worms and stuff like that. And then there's like poker and there's like mini golf and cool stuff like that. There's chess, and so you can like play games. And they're all free. You can just jump in Discord and you just play them. So that's really cool. But yes, and we're also gonna do the mall giveaway. Here we go. Mall is gonna go to Jacob Sabo. Congratulations, Jacob. You've just won the mall. Now, if you won either of these giveaways, you just got to send me an email at mailcrabbok@gmail.com. I need your shipping information. And tell me what you've won, because I get a lot of emails. I might see an email from you, and maybe I had a couple of giveaways that day, and I'll forget. So make sure you mail crabbok@gmail.com. Tell me what you've won, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, because like one time I mailed somebody the wrong thing because I'm like, wait, because I did like 3 giveaways in one day, you know, and I had to kind of fix that, or at least put it in the envelope, and wasted an envelope, and then the stamp was gone. So save me a stamp, save me some error correction. So yes, but yes. So if you did not win, there's plenty of other chances to win. We got giveaways going on in Discord. We've got giveaways going on Patreon. We're gonna be doing the 12 Days of Life Day all throughout December, and then we're going to still do that lightsaber giveaway. So if you're a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos, you're entered to win the lightsaber giveaway. That's running until the end of the year, and that's about it, guys. We have some cool stuff coming up. We have Monday. I am going to be setting up an indoor battlefield using some of the new Monster Fight Club terrain. You may have seen some teasers with like the big tree heavy but yeah, we did the very tree heavy kind of board that's going to be indoor based, and so I'm going to be kind of like doing some kind of epic stuff with it. Really trying to set up a really massive battlefield, and then that one will eventually get used in a battle report. Patrons will get early A-wing level higher or higher. Patrons get first dibs access on battle reports too. So if that's something you're in for, were the clone Z95s the wrong size? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they were just a different art style. I did not offer a print and play solution for my giveaway slip up. That would be really funny, yeah. If you didn't win the Lambda, I'm going to hold it up close to the screen, do a screenshot, and you can print and play with this one yourself, right? That would be really funny. That would be really, really funny. Hello from Poland. What's going on, everybody? We are kind of wrapping up this stream. It's been fun. It's been fun. I don't know. I think AMG is doing the best they can right now. I think this is a good step to be able to fix things, and let's just hope they follow through. And because the first step is definitely the hardest, but you've got to keep going. You've got to be persistent. You've got to follow through. And so saying you're going to fix it is good. I don't think they would have gotten to this point unless they had already had a plan in place, and a plan that's also approved. So this is a good sign, but let's remember this 6 months from now. Let's remember this a year from now, and then look back and say, hey, did they actually do a good job? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Did you back Masters of the Universe from Simon? No. The reason for that, even though I do like 80s stuff, was because I have the prototype for a different Masters of the Universe game from Archon. And that one I thought was really, really cool. So I didn't need 2 different Masters of the Universe games. And the one from Archon was really, really cool. I was hoping that they would send me a review copy of that final game when that one's done as well. And so, because I only have so much budget and I only have so much shelf space. So, does somebody know the errors in the Battle of Yavin for X-Wing? Yes, if you go to atomicmassgames.com, they should have them there. Let me pull it up. I'm gonna pull that up because it was I believe it was the one of the Y-wing pilots that's listed as Initiative 5 should actually be Initiative 4. I believe that's the case. Let's go. Let's see. I'm gonna go to this. I'm gonna go to X-wing. Acting rules reference, upgrade points, previous points, scenario points, update article. What is it? No. No, I don't know. Errata reference? Let's see. I'm checking the errata reference document. Yes. Okay, so if you go to the atomicmassgames.com and you click on the X-wing section, there's a link in there called errata reference. And that's got the corrected versions of Iden Versio and the corrected versions of Dutch Vander from the Battle of Yavin scenario pack. So, yeah, that's it. So those are there. Shadowcat says Master of the Universe Battleground. No, it was a totally different one. Archon actually has 2 different Masters of the Universe games. So before they had Battleground, they had another one. It's like I think it was called Battle for Eternia or something like that. And that one is more of like just a board game, like an area control board game that actually plays up to 3 players. It looks really good. I only have the prototype I have of it has like Skeletor and his guys versus He-Man and his group. But there's other factions. There's like the Horde, and then there's the Snake Men and stuff like that. And so you can play at 3 players. But I only have 2 factions, so I can only play at 2-player currently. But it's a good 2-player game. I think it'd be a good 3-player game too. And it's just a great area control. Getting recruiting allies and riding vehicles and doing battle and trying to just control the area before their time runs out, and whoever has the most points wins. But it just seems kind of perfect. It has a really cool combat system too that has a little bit of bluffing and mental games. But but Battleground looks cool too. At the end of the day, I have to kind of be a little bit selective. When I first got into board gaming and tabletop gaming, I was backing so many Kickstarters. I was going kind of bonkers. I remember with the first Black Friday I got into after getting into board games, I think I bought like $300 worth of board games. I'll put it all in the credit card, came home with a whole bunch of board games, some of which I've only played like once since then. And so it really... it was kind of a wake-up call, because if you've got enough board games, you probably fall victim to this. Like, you've got board games that you bought that you haven't even opened yet, or you got games that you, maybe you bought and you played and you didn't like that much, but you kept them in your collection, or you got games that you really like, but you haven't played this game in 2 years because you have too many other games. And I don't want to have games that I like a lot and that I never play. And so I've been really trying to, get rid of games that I like, but only like a little bit, and I'm really trying to keep games that I really like. And so it's tough. It's like buying clearance games from Barnes & Noble. Absolutely. Archon is over on GameFound right now. Yeah, those are the 2 big ones, Kickstarter and GameFound. And GameFound is doing really good. Mark, you bought Legion, found out nobody in 45 miles plays. That might not be true. There could still be people that are playing that. You just got to keep looking. And you can always start up a group. You can, if you've got a store that has a play space, ask them if they have a bulletin board. You can set up a demo day. Hey, looking to, teach Star Wars Legion, or looking for people to play with, start a Facebook group. Like, maybe if you live in, Crabstown, New Mexico. I made that up. Start a Crabstown, New Mexico Star Wars group or whatever like that, and then share it, and then just promote it. And it might take a little persistence, but you may find some folks either that do play that you didn't know, or that are willing to learn. And so you may have to. That's the problem, is if you're in a kind of a remote area or whatever, you're gonna have to start your own group, and it's tough. It's tough because even if nobody's playing, you can always create a new player. And I don't mean have babies, but that works too. You can also have kids. You just have to wait 10 to 15 years until they're ready to play. It's the long-term solution. Just have kids, and you'll have somebody to play again. You're in Husker country. Is that Nebraska? How did you feel about Scott Frost getting fired as your head coach? I don't know if you're a college football fan or not, but he used to coach for UCF here in Orlando, and so we were a little salty at his abrupt leaving, but we understood it, you know. But yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting situation. Um, Elden Ring, yeah, Elden Ring looks good. I liked the video game. I hated it at first. I don't know if any of you guys saw it. Like, I streamed Elden Ring the first day. Had no idea what kind of game it was. And I'm streaming it, and I'm just dying. I'm like, this game is stupid. I actually went and back to Steam and did a refund on Elden Ring. And I was like, this game is so dumb. Did the refund, and then turned around and bought it again like 2 weeks later once I had watched other videos and learned, like, oh, it's supposed to be hard. Oh, I should be more careful. Yeah. So, Nurgle moved to Munich. Oh boy, yeah, lots of gamers there. Wow, I've been to Munich once or twice, usually in passing. My work used to take me to Germany once in a while, and I miss it, man. I would love to get back to Germany. Oh, what a great and wonderful, beautiful country, and great, beautiful beer, and great food, man. I'd love to have some schnitzel and some spätzle and some Dunkelweissen again. In beautiful München. Oh my goodness. But yeah, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I will talk to you guys later. I hope long-term solution to have kids. Yeah. I will talk to you guys later. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you for watching. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. So say we all. You can't take the sky from me. Always wash your socks. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing. I will talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of